Welcome back, everybody. It's Ali from the Justice Journals, and thank you for all your lovely comments. I have been loving reading your comments. Safi, I am so pleased that my channel is helping you and the content is helping you. Carol, I love it. I'm helping everyone kind of understand a little bit more of everything. And Kev, I'm going to be coming to you, and anyone else for that matter that has been saying, meh, this letter is not free. Got to stop doing those sounds. But I'm going to be coming to that in just a moment. But before that, I want to tell you what today's video is going to be all about. It's going to be the 7 bank statement scaries that are going to trigger red flag monitoring under the new FEAR Act that the government have brought in, the Fraud, Error and Recovery Act. But before I do that, let's get to the naysayers in the comments going, this letter is not free. Oh, but it is. If I say it's free, it's free. And I know that to be furthermore the case because YouTube's AI even tells me so. Now, this is a good thing about AI. This is a good use of AI. So YouTube's AI have said about the Justice Channels community that they have found the channel to be overwhelming, supportive and reassuring. There is a high value level of content and information. Would you get anything else from anywhere else? I think not. And obviously that the Justice Journal's own community dismisses critics and advises me to ignore the trolls. So that's exactly what we're going to be doing from this moment onwards. Trolls will no longer get airtime at the Justice Journals. The free letter link does not work for me. So if we go to the actual video in question, which is here, secret side hustles that get you red flagged under the new government fear bill in the fear list, and you open that box up. So where it goes here, see that little box there where it says learn more in blue? If you click on that, it expands the description and then it takes you to the blog post. The blog post is free, my content is free, and the letter is free. But trust me, if I get any more rude comments, I might not give any free resources. I might not do any free letters at all. So just be polite, because it is my prerogative. Anyway, if we go into that blog post, which is here, and I'm going to go to the top of the blog post. That is the top of the blog post, which features, funnily enough, in that YouTube video to help you identify which blog post it is, even though it is hyperlinked as well. And you actually read the blog post, which is the idea of a blog post. It's not all about scrambling to get stuff for free. It's meant to be giving you valuable information that you can use. So please do read the blog post, because when you do, you will see in rather large letters, and I think those letters are quite flipping large, when it says download the free letter here. Okay, just pointing this out for the people in the comments that are going, meh, there's no free letter. Okay, can you see that? And it's obviously we identify this as well by another free letter that I gave out that's got free letter on the banner, free. Okay, when you click on the download the free letter, it takes you to here. And that says, what does that say? Would you like to make a copy of the free letter? You press on the button. Oh, and what have we got here? We've got the free letter that you can also edit. Did I just hear a pin drop? There we go. So I'm not fear-mongering. I'm definitely not scamming. When I say it's free, when I say it's paid, it's paid. And when I say it's free, it's free. So now we have got that clearly out of the way, and we've stopped the little people coming into the comments spreading a whole load of nonsense. It's clearly not true. Okay? We can go back to the video of today. Is everybody with me? Let's go. So today's video is going to be 7 bank statement red flags under the Fear Act. And funnily enough, there are people in the comments going, this doesn't exist. So let's just go to the Houses of Parliament, shall we, and have a little look. Just so we can clear up any misconceptions. There we go. Unfortunately, is still there, hasn't gone anywhere, does 100% exist because it is on the Parliament's website. It has passed into royal assent. So I think we can all categorically confirm this does exist. Now, I hate to be the bearer of bad news for some. This is not going to be your Billy Bullshit YouTube channel. And unfortunately, I do bring brutal hard truths that the justice system doesn't like, that DWP doesn't like, that some of the haters in the comments don't like. But you're going to get fact here always, never fiction. So just remember that. This is the #1 channel on YouTube that brings you clearly the news before anybody does on things that really affect real people, real lives, for real reasons, because these things have impacted my life in the past. So don't come for me, because I will always show you up when you start going down the road of fear-mongering. Now at 6 minutes and 34 seconds into my channel, I'm really not going to do this again. I am just going to tag you into this video if you come into my comments again, and then at least I will get watch time out of your complete, well, let's just not call it anything. Let's get back to the video. 7 bank statement red flags under the Fear Act that nobody told you about. And before I go through these, I have this morning had a private one-to-one consultation with one of my Justice Journal members, actually one of my business clients as well. And they have told me something absolutely shocking that even quite frankly shocked me about council tax. So let me tell you about the council tax and how that is going to be one of the things, or the first thing in this bank statement red flag under the new Fear Act. And thank you, the person in the comments that says you keep referring to it as a bill and it's an act, and you're completely right. I keep slipping back into that because I think I was silently hoping that it would always be a bill and never turned into an act, just like you guys. But actually it is an act. And this is going to be a wonderful example of how complicated situations could potentially really be something awful for people when you're not really even liable. So this was a couple, got separated, got divorced, had a number of different assets, property, things like that. The husband is not being very accommodating, and has not been doing certain things like, I don't know, passing over the rent money, etc., of the properties that they share. That has left the wife, the now divorced partner, without any income, currently on benefits. And because certain systems can see money coming from probably estate agents or even housing payments, I don't know, going into certain accounts with bank names on that are also accounts where property and property investments populate. When they applied, or the wife applied for council tax reduction benefit, it was really difficult for her to prove the case. Now, I'm going to point out here that from what I've heard, this is very much a very good example of financial abuse, psychological abuse, serious and narcissistic behaviour, from what I have heard. Now, what actually happened with this person was that Their house, which is worth quite a lot of money, the council wanted to take over under a for sale order for non-payment of council tax. For non-payment of council tax, £15,000 worth. It goes back a few years. They've got separated, but because of the new Fear Act, they are both liable. And obviously, now that they're not like together anymore, now they're divorced, they are technically both liable for that bill. So number one is that was flagged through multiple different systems, obviously because of the council tax. Now, what the council tax did fail to tell this person is this. If you're on universal credit, you are entitled to have council tax, like a council tax reduction benefit. Now, before universal credit, the council would apply that benefit automatically to your council tax because they know one computer system talks to the other. But the council, being as unhelpful as most councils actually are, no. They're not going to tell the claimant that, oh, we can see on our system that you're on universal credit and are therefore entitled to council tax benefit reduction. No, we're not going to do that. Instead, we're going to make your life 10 times harder, and you're going to have to go onto the council website, make an application, and then we'll look over it, and then we'll tell you if you're entitled or not. If you're claiming universal credit, you're entitled, period. So I think that's another pointless waste of taxpayers' money when they could automate the process, because they automate it in the fear bill. So they could have automated that one. So, and we all know that nobody gets slammed in court any quicker than somebody that has not paid a council tax bill. Fortunately for this client, she was able to arrange £200 or a few £100 repayment on that. So council tax, in a complicated situation, or even a simple one, even without that, they are going to come for you with that. The second one is side hustles, and thank you so much. You were all getting a bit meh in the comments yesterday. There is a difference between side hustles and personal items. I do want to point this out for you lovely mamas there selling everything on Vinted. So I do know that I use the mamas selling everything on Vinted as an example. The difference is this: in the Fear Act, if you're selling a couple of things now and again on these online marketplaces, Vinted, eBay, that sort of thing, and they're your personal belongings, things that you personally own, that you have personally bought and used for personal use, that is very different to somebody consistently selling every single week on Vinted, on eBay, on these online places, buying things off other sites so that they can resell for a profit. That is really, really, really different. And this is why this isn't great as an example, well, great in practicality and real senses for people, because who are doing that, because some people will have large families and will seem like they're consistently selling all of the time because you've got a large family. Well, I guess if push came to shove and you were accused of, no, you're running a business, and you go, well, actually, I've got 6 kids or 4 kids or what have you, and I'm always recycling and reselling because, you know, is my personal item, and you can prove that, then there's nothing wrong with that, is there? But that is why I called that video Side Hustles, because side hustles are people that have a job, or they have a job and they're trying something on top of it, or they have a job and they're trying self-employment on top of it, or the other partner is working and they want to try and do something a little bit on the side to earn some extra money. That is very different from selling your personal items. So are you going to be like accused of fraud for selling your personal items just because you sell them on an online marketplace? Absolutely not. No, you're not. But if you're selling a lot and you're selling regularly, and you can't validate it or evidence it, then yeah, you might be wading into waters that you probably don't want to wade into. Let's be honest. Number 3, spikes in income. this happens even if you're not on benefits. So if you're not on benefits and you've got sudden fluctuations of money coming into your bank accounts, you're going to have to explain that. You've either sold an asset that's got, positive equity, a house or something like that, or you have a business activity. If you have a business activity, it should be in a different account. It should not be in your personal account, and you should be registered for self-assessment if it's over £1,000. So spikes in income that is not explained or explainable is obviously going to trigger a red flag. Gambling. I did get asked about gambling quite a lot in the comments, so let's go into this one. Obviously, if you are doing gambling, particularly online gambling, you are going to have sudden injections of spikes of income or maybe even losses. So lots of money leaving your account as well. So your account is probably going to be seeing money going in, money coming out. Sometimes it's really high, sometimes it's really low. And of course, there are even bigger red flags and red flag processes, I would say, in place here for things like money laundering, financial stability, fraud, unverified income movement, third party, large risk transactions. Now, gambling is not illegal, okay? It's definitely not illegal. The pattern of it can be or appear like triggerable. Is definitely going to trigger certain red flags in certain systems, especially the banking one. And somebody in the comments did say, what happens if I've recently won 13 grand and I'm on universal credit? What do I do? So let me help you out with that one, and anyone else that may be listening. So because this has just happened like once, the 13 grand, it's not income as in a business, right? It's not classed as a business activity in universal credit. For universal credit purposes, a business activity is something that is regular, that is reoccurring, that is set up in the expectation of making profit. Gambling is not the same. Gambling is treated as capital for universal credit purposes. So they're treated the same way as investments or savings would be. So anything over £6,000 in universal credit, you're going to be losing 55p in every pound after that, unless you put it potentially into a trust fund. And anything over £16,000, you lose all entitlement to actually have universal credit. Sorry. That's because you'll be above the ceiling threshold of eligibility for universal credit. Now, as universal credit is assessed by a month-by-month basis, if you spend some of that money relatively quickly, it's likely not to be counted as a capital because it hasn't stayed in your account for a whole month. Don't quote me on that, but there have been circumstances where that's applied. Number 5, crypto. Crypto, you've also asked me about quite a lot in the comments. So crypto is also considered to be merchant, or is referred to as a MCC, a merchant category code. These, like trading apps, are considered high risk because lots of people use them to move money around and hide money. Think they're hiding money, but basically that the money in crypto itself is it still goes through clearing systems, right? So it's still going to go through a bank account. It's still going to be recorded. And the reason why it's quite often it is definitely going to flag as red flag is number 1, money laundering. Number 2, borrowing. So it's typical borrowing, gambler to gambler behavior. Number 3, unverified or undeclared income. So lots of people pop it into crypto thinking, I'll put it into crypto, nobody will find out. But that's just not the case, guys. We're in 2026 straight 2027. So, and it's actually, doing crypto trading is a respected hustle. So it could even be a business activity, right? That's just not being fully declared. And obviously Lots of people that are doing all of these things are fully declaring it as well. But I'm just saying that it's automatically going to be red flagged. But then if they can see, no, this person is registered with our HMRC, yes, they are paying their tax, yes, they have declared it on UC or what have you, and to their bank, and they have a different business bank account, then like the scoring is going to go, yep, this isn't high risk, like proceed as normal. Number 6 is income matching. Now, sometimes people just do this, it's absent-minded, they're not doing anything weird or dodgy. But people that are doing things that are weird and dodgy and potentially very fraudulent, they do things like this. They will either send money from an account which is has got a kind of an odd name, like a no business name but limited company or something like that on it. Or if you are receiving money, particular large amounts of money from people where you have no previous connections with, then that's obviously going to be flagged as well, particularly if it's something, like I said, where they've marked themselves as limited or a certain enterprise. So then typical things like impersonation checks, is this verified? So verified income checks, undeclared work checks, whether they're health and fit for work checks, and obviously the fear screening. I mean, all of this is the like continuous frauds and fear screening, isn't it? Number 7, the final one, I had to use 2 hands there. The £1 pings. So if you've ever been like the subject of any type of credit card fraud or any type of financial fraud, one of the things they often try doing is testing your card with a £1 like debit, right, before they going for the kill. So if you're the person doing that and you've got loads of £1 pings going through your account, shame on you, by the way, ripping off good, honest, hardworking people, you're automatically going to be flagged, and rightly so, for a stolen card, fraudulent behaviour, trying to rip people off. So yeah, that's thankfully going to be flagged very quickly and hopefully be shut down very, very fast. And I'm pretty sure you'll all agree with me. But this also, £1 pings is also used for gambling websites, undeclared wallets is also another one, and fraud bots testing cards before they do something. Now, if you're Amazon, right, and you're testing someone's card before a payment, right, the banking system knows Amazon, so it's not really going to be, it's going to be, oh yeah, it's Amazon, and that's going to have like securitized API credentials, etc, etc. So like they're going to know that, so it's going to be kind of flagged, but then very quickly like the fire will be put out. And that is it. Those are your 7 bank statement red flags under the Fear Act. Now, I want to point out here that these things are, are not necessarily illegal when you're not doing anything wrong, but these are the sorts of things that are going to be triggering, especially when you read the Fear Act, red flags, right? And, a process of validation is going to go underway, and this is for your own good, right? I'm not saying I agree with the Fear Act, but let's just say someone's trying to rip you off with the £1 pings, and then this is triggered. You're going to go, wow, thank God for that. Otherwise, someone could have ripped me off. And in case you missed it, on my post tab pinned at the top, I have created an anti-fear bank surveillance toolkit. So this is available in the shop here, in my YouTube shop, and this gives you a whole load of frameworks, instructions, step-by-step walkthroughs, lots of letter templates, because you're not getting everything for free, and loads of trackers and other things as well to help you, number 1, know what the rules are, number 2, be compliant, number 3, have great transparent frameworks so you are, not going to be triggering all of these red flags, because I know lots of you are super stressed out about this, and the Fear Act, quite frankly, it has made it 10 times worse. So that is available for you. It's also free for my members over at the website of the Justice Journals Insider Membership. You get it, guys, completely for free. free. Otherwise, for everybody else, there is a small fee, but it's there if you want it. If not, I will see you in the next video.